Hi guys, this is me Osama Gaza. Welcome to another tutorial, and in today's video we will see how we can create this panoramic roll world effect as we can watch in Matt Komo's video, the Chicago video, and many other YouTubers who use the same trick. It's pretty easy, and we can basically do it entirely in Adobe Premiere Pro, but it has two different ways, one in Adobe Premiere Pro and the other one in Adobe After Effects. And honestly guys, the result is much more powerful in Adobe After Effects, but since we are dedicating this channel for Adobe Premiere Pro, so I decided to share it with you guys. So let's start and see how we can do that. Alright guys, so first of all, big part of this effect or this trick is how you prepare your shot. So if you, for example, want to apply this effect in a certain movement, you have to prepare that in advance and take your shots in that direction. So for instance, in this tutorial, I will be applying this effect to move from left to right or right to left. So the shots I chose here to work with, as you guys can see, pan from left to right or right to left. It depends on the direction of my effect. Same thing if you want to use this trick with like a different kind of movement, or if the camera is tilting up and down. That's, in my opinion, the best way to master this effect, because what you want eventually is to have like a seamless, smooth effect that does not distort the whole experience. So the first step here will be searching for something called replicate, and we created a preset for that many times before. I'm gonna drag it and drop it onto my clips here, both of them, then increase the scale to 300. All right, then I'm going to search for lens distort and drop it onto my clips. Alright, now I'm just going to be creating keyframes for the vertical decentering and the curvature in order to, again, control the movement of my effect. And here I want it to move from right to left, so I'm going to be moving the cursor like 5 keyframes and toggle animation keyframes here. Then move it back right before the start or the beginning of the second clip and toggle animation new keyframes. What I'm saying is that I want to control this effect to move from right to left, so I'm going to be dragging this value to the negative direction, so I'm going to set it to -100. And the curvature, I'm going to drag it down to, let's say, 75 or 80. And I'm going to be setting 2 keyframes at the start and the end, and drag this value all the way down to 80. Like 80 for instance, yeah. Alright, now I'm going to be doing the same exact thing for the second clip, but instead of dragging these values to the negative direction, I'm going to be dragging them up in the positive value. Alright, so first of all, I'm going to be setting keyframes here to the same exact parameters we used in the first clip, and move 5 keyframes forward, set new keyframes. And here is going to be actually the other way around. So the first keyframes will be the higher value. So I'm going to be dragging this to 100. It has to be the opposite direction. And the curvature will be 80. Then the vertical prism, or the vertical prism, I don't really know how to pronounce it correctly, will be something like 75 or 78. Okay. Alright guys, so let's play and see how that looks like again. And yeah, so it's pretty much the same thing like we watched in a sample in the beginning of this video. Alright, so what should we do next? What we have to do here is emphasizing this effect, like make it move like it's being rolled. And in order to do that, I'm going to create an adjustment layer. Alright, and drag it on top of my videos and search for something called offset. Drag it and drop it. Right, go to the first keyframe we set for the first clip, then go back to the adjustment layer and set a beginning keyframe for this offset. Then go back to the second clip, move the cursor to the second and final keyframe, then go back to the adjustment layer and set another keyframe. And this is going to be the ending keyframe of the offset effect. All right, so what we're going to do now is shift the center for a number of times in order to make it move, make the whole scene move in the same direction. And I'm gonna be changing this value by multiplying it times 4. So it's gonna be something like 2,399, something like that. All right. So now again, let's render this into out, play, and that's pretty much the foundation we need to successfully accomplish this effect in Adobe Premiere Pro. The last step here will be actually using the directional blur to hide these lines and to make it look more seamless and smoother. So I'm going to be looking for the directional blur, drag it and drop it onto the adjustment layer, move the cursor to the first keyframe, set the blur length to 0, then move the cursor to the middle and let's say 65 and change the direction to 90, then move the cursor to the ending keyframe here and turn it back to normal. Right, the last step here will be just, right click and easy ease or bezier these keyframes. I'm going to be doing this to all my keyframes. Just make it look smoother and more seamless. All right, now let's render into out one more time and see what we have here. Yeah, so yeah, that was pretty much everything about this roll world effect or the barrel rolling effect. It doesn't really have a name, just it's way more important to understand how to come up with it in Adobe Premiere Pro. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more tutorials. Thank you so much and see you next time.